Okay, it is 9:30. We'll call our meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our prayer for the morning. Heavenly Father, we beseech your divine guidance in this meeting. Keep us ever mindful of our obligation. Grant us, dear Lord, wisdom, tolerance, and courage, that we may well serve our county and fulfill our trust. Amen. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of our January 5th meeting?
Move to approve.
Second?
Thank you. Any discussion, comments? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes. We will move into our resolutions. First up, we have Andy Conrad, our county engineer, and Dan is standing in for him.
Morning.
Good
You hear me
morning,
okay?
Dan. Pardon me?
Hear me okay?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Good.
great. We've got 5 resolutions that we'd like to present today. The first one is the resolution authorizing the Medina County engineer to advertise for bids for the bituminous hot mix bid plants. The second resolution is authorizing the Medina County engineer to advertise for various bids and quantities for aggregate for the 2021 construction season. The third resolution is approving a partial vacation of an existing storm sewer drainage easement within West Chase subdivision. The fourth resolution is approving annual assessments of improvement constructions in the Wolf Run Estates subdivision. The fifth resolution is a resolution approving the final plat for the Wolf Run Estates subdivision. And then we've got our weekly permits list.
Thank you.
Move to approve the 5 resolutions.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. And you're welcome to stay in spite of your boss's
Thank you.
comment to the contrary.
Donuts anywhere?
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Amy Lane Galvin, our Assistant County Administrator.
Good morning.
Good morning, Amy.
I have 6 resolutions for your consideration this morning. The first one is amending the appropriation measure resolution. The second is amending the 2021 appropriations resolution by transferring appropriations. The third is cash transfers for various departments. The fourth is authorizing the county auditor to transfer funds from various county department accounts to the Medina County Vehicle Maintenance Revenue line item. The fifth is allowing expenses of county officials. There are 3 trainings listed for the sheriff's office. And the sixth is allowing claims for the week in the amount of $5,266,403.65.
Thank you, Amy.
Move to approve the 6 resolutions.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Next, we have Holly Muir, our
Good
Human
morning.
Resources Director.
Good morning.
For our personal changes resolution today, we have 1 new hire in sanitary, 6 rate increases, 2 in transit, 1 in maintenance, 1 in job and family, and 2 in commissioners.
Move to approve the resolution.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Rhonda, roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.
Thank you.
Next, we have Scott Miller, our County Administrator.
Good morning.
Good morning, Scott.
I have actually have 2 resolutions for you today. I'm going to be doing Denise's and planning. So, first resolution is authorizing an agreement for a copier lease. It's for 63 months at a cost of $1,707. This copier will allow us to bring a lot of the jobs that we're currently outsourcing in, which will save us monies in the long run. The second resolution is approving a grant award to Harrisville Township. Years ago, we set up a fund to assist townships, villages, and cities with master plans, and they are requesting $4,000 for assistance with their plan.
Move to approve both resolutions.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And next up, we have Jeremy Cinco, our interim sanitary engineer. Good morning, Jeremy.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have 3 resolutions for consideration today. The first is authorizing a legal service agreement with Eastman and Smith LTD for the Solid Waste District. The second is consenting to the completion of a proposed road improvement project on State Route 94 in Medina County with the Ohio Department of Transportation. And third is authorizing a 1-year extension of the contract for yard waste management services for the Medina County Solid Waste Management District.
Move to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. And Scott did the resolution for Harrisville Township, so the commissioners have 4 resolutions. The first resolution is appointing a commissioner's alternate for 2021 to the Medina County Planning Commission. The second resolution is reappointing a member to the Community Action Wing Medina County Board of Directors. The third resolution is reappointing a member to the Audit Committee. And the fourth resolution is appointing Emma Schulte as the Medina County Recorder Pro Tem.
Move to approve all 4 resolutions.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to make a comment that the resolutions involving the appointment of various individuals in the Planning Commission and also the Audit Commission, and as well as the Wayne Medina Community Action. These are volunteers, and I just want to thank many of the individuals that do serve on these boards and commissions do so basically at their cost. They represent the county well, and certainly the public interest. They need to be commended, and we've got some new ones. We have ones that are continuing the service, and we do appreciate their willingness to contribute to the good of the community.
Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely. Also, I'll be going downstairs after our meeting to swear Emma Schulte in as Recorder Pro Tem.
And the reason for that is that Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Joe Salzgeber has become the Medina Municipal Clerk of Courts effective this morning. So effective this morning, Emma Schulte will be Recorder Pro Tem until a new recorder is appointed, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
Roll call, please.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes. Thank you. And we have a couple of department updates. Is Laura Toth? Is she out here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she's hiding. All right, come on in, Laura. Good morning.
Good morning. Wow, dust this off. It's so nice to be back. I have packets of
Thank you.
information for each of you. And we'll go through pretty quickly. 2020 has certainly been a remarkable year. I think it taught Office for Older Adults many things and made us stretch our definitions and adapt to new things on how we provide services to seniors. So I'll start with a quick summary, you don't have this, of things that we did. First of all, in COVID response, we distributed gift cards. We had a volunteer shopping program that we established with Bueller's that continues today. We're serving about 265 seniors in that program with probably about 75 volunteers. We've provided shelf-stable meals packages of 10, frozen meals packages of 5 to people who are on meal programs and also people in the community who are not on our meal programs. We've delivered over 67,000 meals. We've managed our option cases. We had to readapt and make a lot of services by phone or socially distant. That includes benefit services. We achieved all our benefit hours and got through Medicare open enrollment without seeing hardly anybody face to face, so it was quite an accomplishment. We've established Zoom activities that continue today, also Zoom education programs and mental health programs for seniors. We have friendly visitor calls. We hooked up an FM system and we're able to do parking lot bingo for seniors, which we had shut down the December one because of the COVID rate, but we have another one scheduled for February. And we do those in Brunswick and Medina. And all this while answering incoming phone calls. So the agency's done a really good job. I'm proud to be the director. We also have gone through some capital improvements. And I was talking to Commissioner Hambley yesterday. I know that the other two of you have seen the agency, but I invited Commissioner Hambley down as we continue to make improvements, which include office painting, new lighting throughout the agency, removal of some cabinetry, all new carpet, the glass block walls, they were aged, they were all cracked, they were removed and replaced with drywall. We now have public Wi-Fi, so be excited to get seniors back, they will love that. We have a sound system update, and we also have a new website page, which if you can go to mcooa.org and look at the new design of our website page. It was about 8 years old, and that's like a relic when they start getting that old, so we updated the website page. So that's all the things that I wanted to highlight for you, and then we'll go through, like I said, quickly the information I brought. The first is the meals that we provided per month. And so you can see that with all the grant meals delivered and then added to the shelf-stable and frozen meals, we delivered 67,007 meals. So just over 67,000. That is, just for comparison, 175% of what we did in 2019. Also 175% of what we did in 2018. We were on about 38,000 in a, quote, typical year, or a year in the before times. That's what my son calls it, the before times. So it was like an all-hands-on-deck operation. So when people weren't doing all the services that I discussed, they were delivering meals. So we went from 6 routes to 10 routes without adding positions. So our office staff was driving, our intermittent drivers, who we have on really just to fill in for vacations or if a driver's sick, they were all working full-time. Brunswick closed at one time. I brought the Brunswick person down. She delivered 3 days a week. So we adapted our delivery times and expanded our routes, and we're able to deliver those meals. That is continuing today. I'm hoping that we can get some people off the delivery system and back to congregate this year. I want to shrink that back to the 6 routes that we have. So we'll see how people adapt in the months to come. Hopefully once the vaccine is in operation and in more arms. Digging just a little bit deeper, the next 2 pages show you where those meals went. And I printed out 2019 as a comparison for you to see. It's a pretty nice spread of services throughout the county. Obviously, the 2020 numbers for congregate meals and transit were down considerably. I hope they bounce back up. Western Reserve, which is our main grantor for meals, allowed agencies to bill differently and allow more people on home delivered meals, which helped fund that 67,000. We also had CARES money that we were able to access to help fund, and our human services levy. Colleen.
I just have a question.
Commissioner, I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just have a question on the one thing. For home, or just for example,
Sure.
If we didn't deliver any meals and we didn't serve any congregant, and there's 16 trips, what would we have gone there for, just for example?
I'm sorry, where are you looking
On
at?
Homer, it says 16 trips but no meals.
That means, I apologize. That is
Oh, I thought maybe
transit
there was-
trips.
Okay, transit trips. Okay.
Yeah, the number of trips, it doesn't say transit. I apologize for that. That is transportation.
Oh, I
So
thought
it's
that
2
was
different
trips for
programs.
meals.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So the first column is subsidized transportation. The second is meals.
Got it.
And the third is congregate. I apologize
Oh,
for
don't
not
apologize. I just
doing.
wanted clarification. Thank you.
Sure. And the last page, which I just printed out quick, it is the outreach contacts. This is our social work department, and the contacts that they've made. It's really interesting from 2012 through 2020. So you really get a comparison of where we've gone steadily, kind of up in the 1300s, some around 1,000. But then in 2020, it was 1977. So that's another thing that we were all spread out. All of our social workers. I did some field work as well to try and help cover that 1977. But it's interesting to look at those numbers.
So Laura, were
yeah.
these actual physical contacts or phone
No,
calls? Or?
most of them were not physical contacts. They were phone calls.
Phone calls? Okay.
Yeah. Certainly the January, February numbers would have been in person.
Right.
I don't have that exact count, but yeah, most of those were in calls. And that's another thing. You take away the windshield time, you can provide more services with the same amount of people.
Did you use Zoom or any other
Yes.
platform? To do it?
Absolutely. We have a WebEx account and a Zoom account. So as long as people were tech savvy, or sometimes it was their kids were tech savvy, we were, especially for the benefit appointments, it worked very, very well to get people on and go through their paperwork via Zoom. Yeah.
Good, excellent.
The last two, I brought you copies of the latest newsletters from Brunswick and Medina. We have still produced those. Those are really become a touchstone for people to keep in contact with what's going on, what Zoom meetings are available, what services are available through our agency. I just wanted to say that our agency vision for this upcoming year is to keep with our strategic plan that we constructed in January 2020. And we have some things to catch up on, like building our volunteer base to help seniors in the home. That kind of fell short. But we do plan to expand volunteerism and continue with the capital improvements in our agency. We're also continuing to work on bringing adult protective services under the OOA umbrella, and that's currently with legal. Mike Lyons is working on that for us to try and get all legal aspects, and I'm working with Debbie Kiley at JFS. So it's a work in progress, but it is progress.
Very good.
I do have a question regarding,
Sure.
you're working with AARP, Volunteers for the Tax Service.
Yes.
How are you going to be able to do that with the...
Okay, they are
yeah.
planning drop off and pick up kind of a tax service. So people will come and drop off their paperwork, and this is my understanding, wait for it, and then be able to pick it up once they process it, instead of sitting in the same room with somebody while they're processing your taxes. So that opened Monday. So we were bombarded, much like I'm sure the health department was with vaccines. We were bombarded with calls yesterday, but we don't have the schedule. So what we did is just took everybody's name, the date they called, and their phone number. And as soon as AARP gives us that schedule, we'll begin a series of callbacks to schedule people in. Wadsworth is not doing a tax program this year. So that means that all the Wadsworth people are going to be coming and have been calling Medina as well. So I think appointments are going to be few, and that's a real issue. So we continue to look for alternatives to help people get their taxes done. It's another work in progress, but we do have some answers and some options, and I encourage people to call our office to get on that list for callbacks when the AARP list comes out.
So the idea they would drop off their taxes, would they be like waiting in the car?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my understanding. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
How many people did they serve in Wadsworth that we expect will come up here?
I know that we serve probably 1,000 people in Medina and maybe that many in Brunt. So I would have to think around 750 to 1,000.
So do you think you'll have enough
No.
volunteers?
And they're not our volunteers. We just do a service for the
I
AARP.
understand, yeah,
But no,
yeah.
we never have enough
I mean,
volunteers.
I
So
know-
I'm
I know
sure we
several
won't have
people
enough.
that do the volunteer work.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that, that's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there might be a delay as it was last year in terms of filing deadline.
And people have asked that. And
Yeah, that has yet to be determined.
correct.
But I'm imagining if it goes like it did last time, probably will be a delay, which will at least it will extend the period that you can help.
correct. And people
the
can always file for a delay. We've been taught
Right.
people don't know, especially
File
people,
an
many of our
extension,
clients don't owe taxes, but they need to do the paperwork
Right.
to file that delay. And then I
Yeah.
think it gives you an extra few months.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, 6 months.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah.
And also, I would comment, you have done a really wonderful job on the renovations.
Yes.
Thank you.
I mean, they really look nice, and I think the last time I was down there, they were about 95% complete.
Mhm.
But look really good, and when it is opened back up to the community,
Yeah.
I think the seniors will be very, very pleased with
Yeah,
how it
we were
looks.
able, the one thing, we were able to get all the capital improvements that we wanted to for 2020 done, so I hope that we can do the same for 2021, because it's obviously a work.
Looking forward to coming down there and looking at it.
I mean, just the LED lighting alone will
I
save
know.
money.
And that was
terms of
all,
operating
thank
costs.
you, because that was all a
Yeah,
county project.
right, and, yeah, so Steve Bastine and the building maintenance crew did a great job working on that.
Mhm.
Super.
I agree. And they did a lot of the construction and the painting too, so it was a joy to work with county maintenance.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Laura.
Thank you so much. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful month.
You too.
Next, we have Jim Dieter, our Soil and Water Director.
Well, good morning, all. I guess it's been a while, and
Good morning, Jim.
congratulations, Mr. Hambley.
Thank you.
Good to talk with you. Well, a lot of things have happened at the district. As you all well know, some of you know Linda Snyder. She did retire this past year in December. We did hire a replacement for her. Her name is Kelly Doherty, a young lady who's been around different areas. She's well educated in some different things, but she'll need some tweaking here and there. That she's ready to roll and excited about being here. One of the things that's still going on, our Prairie project certainly is still taking off and doing things. And Linda set the table pretty well for us. And so Kelly's going to be taking care of a lot of that management. And it's already had probably several hundred visitors, I would say, over the course of the summer. Between church groups and garden clubs have come through and just enjoyed the different things that are going on right now. We put in some temporary interpretive signs there to let people know what they're looking at, and we're in the process of getting permanent ones to put up, working with CQ Printing and also the building maintenance folks to help get the signs erected. And also let you know that all these things are still being done through grants and donations, that there's really no public funds per se buying equipment. Other things have happened over the summer here. We did have our annual meeting in November. It was all virtual, and we sponsored a little scavenger hunt that people really enjoyed. They went out. We picked places in the parks, different community areas that people had to check into, including maybe Richardson's and Geigs Orchard. Got those folks involved, and people took the little quiz and sent things in. There's probably 30 to 40 people that did go through it, and they're all really excited about that. And that worked out well. We put together some prizes for them and for the winners. We basically just drew their names. But also at the annual meeting, we did have an election. The new board member will be Tom Miller. As you know, Charlie Pope retired, particularly after his accident. But Tom was elected, and it was all done virtually and on kind of online voting type thing, and it worked out well. It was a different statute that got set up, and actually it's the format we're going to be following from here on out, the way that it's going to work for our voting period for our new supervisors. And if one the commissioner is available next Tuesday, our board meeting is on at 1:30. We'll be having an in-person one at the Lafayette Township Hall, the old one. There's enough room to spread out there as opposed to in our building. We're kind of cramped in there to have, a group of less than 10 there. So we'll be doing that. Also this year, we're going on with our tree seedling sale and native plant sale is new for this year. Those will probably be a drive-through pickup, and that information is going out as we speak. There'll also be fish.
So it's all gonna be mailed out like they've done in the past?
Yeah.
The order forms and everything?
Yeah, the order forms are being mailed out. They're at the, hopefully left the post office, but where they're sitting now, where they're at, we don't know.
Jim, yesterday I got a Christmas card.
Me
So-
too.
Yeah, I think we got one
Uh-huh.
also from
Yeah.
person. And it was mailed before Christmas, I bet.
Well, it was bulk mailing, so I don't know when it was actually mailed,
Yeah.
but it was interesting. Actually got 2 of them in the last 2 days.
There you go. Popular guy.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah.
Also,
Those are the only 2 I got the whole season, so.
the district also is a collection point for milkweed seeds that's been dropped off. We're still working with the ODNR about that. So people who have milkweed seeds have dropped them off. If you still have any, I'd say let them go to seed where they're at and let them do their thing there because they've stopped the collection.
What are you gonna do with them?
Basically, the ODNR picks them up, then they take them. They have taken them like to the prisoners, and the prisoners pick them little seeds out of all the fluffy things, the cotton
Really?
balls or whatever they are.
Okay.
And so they pick all them out individually. Then we get a portion of those seeds back, and then we give them away. People who would like them. So if you like some, stop by the office, and we could get you some. Or have to ring our little doorbell. We have a doorbell set outside, and you could we'll come answer the door to you. And
When will they be available?
they're available now. We have some from last year, but the ones that were turned in this year, usually we get them in June-ish.
And those are good for the monarch butterflies, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
We've also learning, and we're still in the process of learning, doing the social media and programs, workshops, education videos, all online, and we're working at doing that, doing a much better job. We've got our Facebook active, we got a YouTube channel out there along with our website, and hopefully with Kelly on board and Abby, they're able to put together a good social media program for the district, and I feel it's going to be something that's going to be around from here on out, in addition to some site visits, gatherings that we have always done in the past. And we have done a couple of those, particularly about soils. Beth has worked with the folks at the Historical Society about soils and how the benefits of soils and that. We're also doing our big tree contest this year. It's the honey locust. That was kind of decided. It's a different one, so we'll go with that one. Over the past year, some of our technical things we've done, we've had over 38 ponds went in the county this year. That's a little up more than normal. And we assist the county engineers on the permit process where we review the permit and make sure that it's got all the pertinent information on it that would need to help water go where it always went, basically. We've had 48 drainage assistant calls and 3 erosion calls, did like 17 land evaluations. Basically, somebody just wants us to come out and, help them manage the resources they have on their property, be it trees or wildlife or just what do they have? What can they do with their property? Our soil sample program has been going on very well. We had 42 soil samples that went out. We're still doing cover crops from the Skingham watershed, over 300 acres for that. Our special emphasis this year will still be on nutrient management for home and farms, working with the county expo and obviously drainage and erosion concerns that landowners would have. We're happy to work with folks in that fashion. Hopefully we'll get together with a Ag Day again, working with the County Extension and Farm Bureau and the bee people, what they had at the fairground, where they had over like 400 and 500 kids, like 4th graders I think they were, that came through from all over the county to do these different stations. And it was really a pretty good production that went on, and we were part of that, so I appreciate the ladies setting that up. Another thing we hope to do for workshop-wise, we want to get a forestry workshop going again, along with our soils workshop and rain garden workshops and everything, anything water quality. We're going to be working with her. If someone needs some discussion on it, we're happy to stop out and talk with just the general public, individually or as in groups, but obviously following protocol for the day. So, do you have any questions or anything I could help you out
It's
with?
also interesting.
You're still doing all the programs for the ag community?
The farm bill stuff,
Yeah.
we're working with that. Now, Derek Harmon,
Mhm.
who's the DC there, he did, he's on temporary assignment, basically, at the area conservationist for what they refer to as Area 3, which is, like Route 30 south and like southeastern Ohio. So he'll be down there a lot, and he'll be up here a little less, but Drew DiMatteo, who's one of their soil cons, will be acting as that person. And they've done a great job. They brought in a lot of different practices for the agricultural area and money to stimulate these conservation practices. So, yeah, we're still promoting them, yes.
Okay, all right. And are you planning on doing a live annual meeting in November this year?
I hope so.
Okay,
I mean, it just, everything caught us off guard how we do this.
right.
And it worked out well. I mean, it was certainly different. So the voting it was one thing, but we got around that well. But that was something that the commission was going to change anyway, and so it worked out for the best this way with the COVID. They basically just extended the period where you could vote.
Mhm.
Along, it's kind of more of an absentee voting, but it simplified the process of doing it, and it's all state sanctioned and that kind of stuff. So.
And are you gonna plan the tour? that
Your
we-
commissioners do?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
We didn't, I don't think we did it
We-
last
we-
year.
No,
We
we
got
didn't.
canceled,
We
but
didn't do one.
are we
but,
gonna try to get that back on the schedule?
Absolutely, absolutely. That will be something going on. That'd be it,
All right.
if you have any questions.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for
Jim.
your
I
time.
appreciate
Nice to
the
see you.
update. It's
Well,
a lot of good
no
stuff
problem.
going on.
Well, yeah, a lot of stuff, and hopefully it won't be this long again until we get together.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we need to have an executive session to consider the employment of a public employee. Could I
Yeah,
have a motion?
Following our discussion, I would move that we go into executive session for the purpose to consider the employment of a public employees.
Second, and I guess we should state that it will include interviews, so it may be longer than normal too.
Yes, yeah, it will be an extended executive session. Roll call, please, Rhonda.
Hambley?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes. Thank you. And now we'll go into into discussion session. Steve, do you have anything you want to?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up for discussion, could I know, talking with Rhonda and so forth, and actually Jim kind of pointed out too, is kind of like the new change in terms of meetings. You know, they're doing an annual meeting online and so forth. And we as commissioners, obviously, right now the way we're set up, you either do in person or we've done Zoom, or you've done in Zoom. I think no doubt as we move forward, we're going to have to do both at the same time. In other words, that we have the option to be able to have maybe somebody be able, like they do in a planning commission,
Right.
Zoom in, be able to come in live video in addition to being in person. And right now, we're not technically set up to do that in the room.
Correct.
So I would suggest that maybe we have authorized Rhonda to certainly explore that as much as possible with Steve and obviously with our maintenance and whoever else to take a look and see what capital investments or what investments we need in terms of technology, TV setup and so forth, and how we would do that. That way, if one of us has to be remote for various reasons, either conference or committee meeting or someplace else, you can at least come in for the portion of the business meeting and be able to conduct business and not have to be absent. As well as obviously just to make sure that the people are able to see us and discussing fully.
And even beyond
Business.
COVID, it's the wave of the future.
I agree. It's going to be permanent. These changes, I think, are going to be long-term. We never would have made these kind of investments this way, but now that we have, I think every public entity is going to be doing it this way. So I think we need to move forward.
And I suspect the state legislature.
It's going to
will make those
require that.
changes
Yeah,
permanently.
yeah. We had some bills pending in there. We had those discussions with the Media Association as well as others. That House Bill 197 or where it was that provided this.
Right.
There are going to be some long-term implications that are going to require require that. I hope that the state will come up with some money, or continue to come up with money to help fund some of this stuff, but I think.
Do you know anybody to call down in Columbus?
I have a couple names we know, but I think that is something we definitely need to move forward
Yeah.
with, I think, but.
I would agree.
Great idea.
Yeah.
Chairman,
Yep.
I have a comment on that too.
Sure, sure. Jim?
Don't mind. We have been doing that, similar to what Mr. Hambley's been talking about, where we set up a Zoom meeting for our in-person meeting where, fortunately, we're not set up for the video part, but I use my phone, we call into
Yeah.
the number that's set up, and that's advertised that way to the public. So the public can have this number and call into the Zoom meeting and for our board meeting and be there for the general session.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, if you go to executive session, that creates a little problem because you can't really have the public involved with the executive session. And so that's a little bit of a tricky thing, but we typically don't have a lot of public calling in. But we're working with the folks with ODA, and they kind of set up a Zoom for us to call in. And the board, we have had several Zoom board meetings, it's worked. But these past few here, I've had personal ones, but we also set up Zoom with it so that if any of the public or a board member wasn't able to attend, they were still able to be there and participate in the meeting.
Virtually,
So
right.
It is a pretty good idea, a good way to go. But there's things face to face that just, you lose a little bit in the translation and the process of the meeting to get it going, that, you know, who's gonna make the motion, the discussion tends to lack a little bit because you talk over one another, when you come to the phone.
Well, I think that, yeah, that's the problem when you don't have the live video. You've got just audio, and it does present some problems, I think. So I know the live video tends to, at least you can raise your hand, or at least signal that you want to speak, and then the person that hosts it can then unmute you. So I think that there's that possibility of being able to then still control a board using as long as you've got that live video and audio at the same time.
Yeah.
But those are obviously things we need to consider.
We would need a big monitor back behind where
Agreed.
Jim's standing
Yep.
on the wall so
Yeah.
that we could see
time.
the people who are participating by Zoom. But
Agreed.
I do think it would be a
Agreed.
good idea to.
As well as the public be able to access, and we have to think from the technology standpoint that they can see the presenter. We may, just to hear them is one thing, but also to see, and then whatever, if they're presenting some documents or something, they can, you know, little thing on the screen.
Right.
So I think
It's
that,
also nice for them to be able to call in too.
Yeah.
If they don't have access to
sure.
a computer, you can
Yeah.
call in using their smartphone. or
Yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
flip phone if you're into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, Steve.
Doug,
Anything else?
yes, I do. Actually, that was House Bill 264 was signed by the governor recently. That involves the refinancing of OWDA loans. I know whenever it was coming through the process, I mean, literally over the next number of years, they were talking about billions of dollars being saved because OWDA, when they did their financing, the statute said they could finance but not refinance, believe it or not. And so with all historic low rates, all these entities have not been able to refinance it if they maybe should have had the opportunity. I don't know whether, and I was present, at least for discussion, we could have the department take a look. I don't know I know Amy and I talked about it when Bill was processing, but maybe evaluate and see if there's any opportunities for our sanitary department. If there are any outstanding OWDA loans that we know when they're going to be callable and when we can maybe refinance and obviously save some money in that department. So I would, present that as one of those initiatives we ought to take a look at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any Public Works or any other?
Well, it was just the OWDA was the only one that was prohibited from being able to refinance. But I guess we can kind of check. I think OPWC had different authorizations, but I think those are so that's certainly one we can take a look at. Yeah, department can take a look at and see if there's some opportunities here in the next year or two to refinance some of that old debt. There was some entities had as much as 10% interest rates they've been paying on loans going way back. And so to give the ability to refinance saves a lot of money. Like I said, when they amassed it all together, it was like almost $3 billion in the next 8 years or something. It was
Investors won't be happy, but
hey, but the public will benefit from more
Exactly.
money for infrastructure, and I
Right.
think that's the important thing.
Right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, okay, that's all I had.
All right, thank you. Colleen, anything?
You were gonna mention the vaccines?
I will, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, let's go. Scott, you have anything? Amy?
Oh, McDack. Yes, you wanna come up and talk about McDack? We have our, organizational meeting, Wednesday, is it? Wednesday?
It is the
Or-
13th.
Yeah, the 13th.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Go ahead.
I think today's the
Yeah.
Yeah.
12th.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, after the last meeting, we met as a subcommittee to amend the McDack application. And you'll see there's just, for your consideration, some changes to that we'll discuss at the meeting tomorrow. But it's reaffirming the mission of McDack, what we're expecting of the applicants, change some requirements in terms of not having to submit a paper copy. We're going to go all electronic this year. We're trying to make that more streamlined. And the question came up about the allocation of the award amounts, that with the new composition of the McDack board, most, if not all of those board members are recipients of McDack money. So the question came up as to whether or not we should consider a subcommittee of 3 or more, perhaps non-biased folks that could review the applications that are due in May. So the question was whether or not the commissioners might have an interest in appointing somebody, each of you 3, or if Mr. Halasco and his abilities as chair through the bylaws can just appoint a committee. So we wanted to discuss that with you.
Yeah, the last couple of years, we've kind of almost gone to a percentage of dollar amounts.
Mm-hmm.
The one year, and then last year, it was pretty similar.
It was pretty similar, and there was some discussion, and you can see amongst the groups an interest in trying to be fair to each other, but it does introduce a little bit of challenge when you're voting on awarding amounts to yourself or your
Right.
Because the
partners.
pie's only so big, and it's a
Right.
matter of
Correct.
Right.
you're
Right.
basically, making
So-
a decision about relative proportions.
Yes, yeah. And in the process, as I understand the process, each entity has to fill out a grant application
Correct.
to request funds that come back to them. And
Mhm.
it seems to me that this is more of a budget allocation process than it is a grant application process. So they all pretty much do the same things and do the same thing year after year after year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't, I question whether they need to fill out grant paperwork to request money as opposed to just sitting down as a body and saying,
Well, they
here's
have,
what the pie is and here's how we proceed
but
to allocate
all
it.
of them, not all of them have the school resource officers, and so some things are prioritized. So, you
Do
do
they-
have to have some information on what they are going to legally use the money for to make it sure it does follow within the levy dollars.
Okay, all right.
You'll see within the application, for example, that McDack as a body defined funding priorities, and one is to ensure the Medina County Drug Task Force is fully funded.
Mhm.
The second is to fund school resource officers, and there was a difference amongst the group on how many days of work does an SRO perform in a calendar year. So that has been identified as 200 work days, so there's some consistency in the applications. And then to fund any other grant applications that can meet the requirements that are outlined in Ohio Revised Code. So it's really to ensure that they're appropriately targeting their programs.
But I agree with you, it's not truly a grant. It is more just distribution of levy dollars. So maybe grant for the application is the wrong word. You know, it is almost like a department budget where show us what you're gonna use the money for. So, I understand what you're saying.
As I understand, the chair of McDack is
Bob
Halasco.
Correct.
And he obviously represents the ESC. They do not receive any levy dollars, correct?
No, he does
Yeah.
not,
Right,
his
that's what,
department
okay.
does not get
And to
any.
verify that, so I would be comfortable with him appointing a committee, obviously of people that are not going to be recipients, to evaluate those
I would be
those
comfortable with
criteria.
that too.
Yeah.
And I think you should be part of that committee. I think that Amy,
I'd agree.
as our finance person, should be part
Thank
of
you.
that committee.
I think it's a good
I'm
idea.
with that.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
Thank you. We'll take that then to the committee at the meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
I appreciate the opportunity to discuss.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Ron, do you have anything? Or Jeremy?
Good.
Good. I wanted to make one comment about vaccinations and COVID vaccinations through the Department of Health. The Department of Health gets an allocation of about 300 doses a week currently. And I went and did a little research. You know, we have about 180,000 people in Medina County, and according to the most recent demographic information I could find, 18.5% of those folks are 65 or over. I could not find anything for 70 and 80 and over, but that equates to about 33,000, over 33,000 people that are going to be in the sequence for getting vaccinations. And with the current allocation of 300 per week, it will take years to get this. So people need to be patient. Krista Wazowski, our health commissioner, is pushing on the state to get a larger allocation, and we're hopeful that the state is pushing on the federal government to get a larger allocation so that we can ramp up things. But I just want folks to be patient. The health department is overwhelmed with phone calls and is trying to get back to people as much and as quickly as they can.
And they're getting out the ones they have. They just don't have as many as we need.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
as I understand from the news report, there are other places within Ohio where they have a large supply and they've not been able to distribute them. And as I understood from the call we heard from Krista, is that Medina County is getting them all out. We're one of those that are basically there, and they've been able to get them out and not waste any, and also be able to get them out in a timely fashion so they're not sitting in a freezer someplace.
Correct.
So the trouble, it seems to be at the state level, is where they're sending them, and I know that they're trying to adopt criteria to fix that problem, but unfortunately they're trying to develop the same procedure for everybody, but we're not one of those that are affected, and it sounds like we could be impacted negatively just because some other counties are having the issues with distribution.
Right. Yeah. Which we don't have.
Yeah,
So
I know.
But I just want to make sure that folks are patient and they are working to improve the, not necessarily the delivery, because they have the delivery system. It's the quantity of vaccine that's coming and being allocated to us. So, but it is being
Yeah.
looked at.
Certainly 300 a week is not enough,
No.
not nearly. Yeah.
That's all I have. So we will go into executive session now, and it will be an extended executive session because we have interviews and multiple topics to address.
Bill, you would want to note that we're going to end the live stream and restart it when we resume.
Yes, yeah, we will end the live stream and then bring it back up when we come back into general session. Thank you.